Hey, what's up, witches? It's me, Luna. Back. Back. It's really hard to get back in, It's like I want to do everything all at once, and I need to back up and move slowly and try to get back into some sort of routine. And the best way to get back in is with a gift unboxing. And this is a gift from Allie in Scotland, and I so appreciate it. It's the Adventure Tarot, and this is from Andrews McNeil, the publisher. And I want to show you something here. I have several Andrews McNeil decks, and they are okay. There's this one. There's Cozy Witch Tarot. There is the Rainbow Brain Skull deck, the Wandering Heart deck, and the Woodland Wardens. And that and the Wandering Heart deck are two really exceptionally wonderful oracle decks. So check those out if you care to. Let me scoot up. Okay. Allie's note says, "Thank you, Luna. I love your channel. No question for me. A reading for the collective always rings true," from Allie. So I appreciate that on behalf of the collective. And I will tell you that down below is an Amazon wish list, which I have really been pruning back hard because there are a lot of decks that I am no longer interested in. The kind of chunky box LS decks, I'm not interested anymore because the cardstock is impossible. But anyway, sidetrack. This, a road trip inspired deck for self-discovery and belonging by Elizabeth Sue, artwork by Jenny Chang. And no more information there. But yeah, Andrews McNeil is just like a little side publisher. I thought I had more decks from them because the name was so familiar, but I don't. The Adventure Tarot is the fun intersectional deck we've all been waiting for. Okay. The first of its kind, this road trip. Okay. Pause for coughing. The first of its kind, this road trip inspired tarot deck from Elizabeth Sue celebrates the Asian American experience and invites women everywhere to join her on a beautiful journey of self-discovery, acceptance, and belonging. With gorgeous illustrations by artist Jenny Chang, this 78-card deck brings fresh interpretations, iconic landscapes, and a guidebook filled with best friend advice to take you on an epic adventure inside and out. If you're excited to connect to your intuition and find out who you are beneath who the world told you to be, then pull your first card and let's hit the road together. Okay, so we have a strong theme here, about travel and adventure, but specifically through the lens of being Asian American, which is very interesting. All right. The copyright on this is 2024. Oh, the dedication to little E, who never stopped trying to find where she belonged. We have a love note from the author before you dive in. Then we've got wisdom from the cards, major arcana, minor arcana, and then each of the suits, which are traditional. Behind the scenes, warm and fuzzies, love from the illustrator, and P.S., let's keep this party going. Then about the author and the illustrator. Let's go there first. Elizabeth Sue, M.A., she, her, is a mixed Chinese-American writer, creative, and the founder of Monday Vibes, a newsletter focused on women's empowerment and celebrating Asian joy. And, what a wonderful serendipitous thing that I am shooting this video on the new moon, on Chinese New Year, the year of the wood snake. So that's pretty cool. Happy New Year. After calling it quits on her Silicon Valley career, Elizabeth earned her master's degree in clinical psychology from Columbia University, where she researched burnout and perfectionism. Ooh. Her work has been featured in the Los Angeles Times, among others, and centers around self-love, the multifaceted nature of being human, and keeping it real on the spiritual path when she's not writing or trying to smash the patriarchy. All right, I'm really liking her already. You can find her dancing in the kitchen, binge watching teen dramedies, or finding the hottest boba spot in town. Join the slumber party fun on Instagram and TikTok at at Hey Elizabeth Sue, or by signing up for her Monday Vibes newsletter at elizabethsue.com. About the illustrator, Jenny is an illustrator and designer based in New York City, currently working at Insider as a deputy design director. Raised in Vancouver, Canada, she graduated with a fine arts degree at the School of Visual Arts in New York. When she's not drawing, you can find her laughing at dog memes, obsessing over astrology, or overeating desserts. There's joy for you. Okay, love note from the author. Hi, hello, welcome. I am so happy that you found your way to this deck, or that this deck found its way to you. Thanks, Allie. That, for whatever reason, the cosmos brought us together so we could hang out. Magic is in the air. And you know what? I realized I interrupted myself before. I'm looking to see if I took my meds, and I did. That there is a wish list down below, and if you want to buy me a deck off of it, I will read for you on the unboxing. Okay, onward. Now feels like the perfect time to invite you to tune into your heart and ask yourself, what am I hoping to receive from the Adventure Tarot? This is a deck that celebrates all aspects of ourselves, the parts we love, the parts that make us cringe, the parts we wish to cultivate, the parts we have yet to discover. Because being human is a complex experience. We are never just one thing. There is never just one perspective. So on any given day, this deck may serve a different purpose. Let the cards reveal the truths that are meant to be seen. I've got lots of fun goodies in store for you here in this guidebook. My hope is that it helps deepen your understanding of the cards and serves as an empowering companion on your journey. And with that, if you're ready, take my hand and let's go on an adventure together. XO Elizabeth. I want to see the love note from the artist. This project has truly been a dream project for me and a huge labor of love. Thank you, Elizabeth, for your trust and guidance the whole way through and your brilliance, creativity, and vulnerability in creating this deck. The initial pitch spoke and related to me in so many ways, and I know it will also reach so many others. Biggest thank you to my husband, John, for endless late nights and unwavering support, and my Miles, who is my inspiration for everything I do. Okay. Oh, we're not done with the book. I'm rusty. I'm very rusty. Okay. Before you dive in, if you're too excited, trust me, I get it, go ahead and skip to the fun part of playing with the cards. Maybe wash your hands, give the cards a quick smudge, or spritz something yummy in the air first. It's always nice to greet your cards from a fresh place. If you think you can wait a sec, there are a couple things I'd love to tell you about the deck. Let your intuition lead the way. In my experience, the less I have to rely on a tarot guidebook, the better. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great nuggets of wisdom packed inside this guidebook, but we've designed the cards to be as intuitive as possible so you can focus your energy on tapping into the symbolism instead of flipping through a million pages trying to figure out what the heck you're looking at. For example, each suit in the minor arcana has a primary color palette and landscape features that correspond to the element it embodies. The major arcana has its own recognizable vibe. Nature imagery is deliberately used throughout the deck to draw out the emotions of each card and access the universal wisdom we all have about living in our natural world. Let me give you a lay of the land. So we have the card family, the suit, the element, the color palette, the landscape, and what it deals with. So, okay, I'm going to just particularly look at the colors in the landscape. So we have the majors. Spirit, the golds and silvers are the colors. The landscape is the great outdoors. It deals with deep questions, the collective, your soul's journey. Wands, fire, reds and pinks, deserts and canyons. Passion, purpose, creative expression. Cups, water, blues, bodies of water, emotions, relationships, the heart. Swords are air, purples, mountains and sky. Thoughts, decisions, the analytical mind. And pentacles, earth, greens, trees and plants. Stability, abundance, making shit happen. The court cards got woke. I'm not a huge fan of the gendered hierarchy of traditional court cards. Cough, patriarchy, cough. I love it. So we chose to rename them and give them a more modern flair. The old name, Paige, is now Scout, and the vibe in the Adventure Tarot is a carefree high schooler. The Knight is now the backpacker, and it's a sassy teen. The Queen is the explorer and is a college senior, and the King is a guide and mature 30s. Say hello to the acrobat. The Hanged Man is the only card in the major arcana that we changed the name of because, TBH, I can't deal with the idea of, well, a hanged man. So be on the lookout for an adorable and fun acrobat instead. Get ready for some fresh interpretations. I don't believe the tarot is a place for fear, shame, and or guilt, so we put a lot of care in infusing compassion into every card. That's lovely. I hope we're not ignoring that shame and guilt do happen all the time. Don't worry about reversals. I purposely did not provide any guidance about how a card might have a different message. I'll be real with you, reversals confuse the shit out of me. I feel like it's a big accomplishment if I can just nail down one set of interpretations. All right, I appreciate that. And you can spell shit with an I, honey. You don't have to use an exclamation point. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And then getting in the zone. I fantasize on the reg about being that witchy tarot person who sits down for a reading at every phase of the moon, surrounded by candles and incense and crystal grids and flower petals of every color. But alas, that is not me, or most of us. As much as I love a good ritual, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm more of a tarot on the go kind of gal. I bring my deck with me to the park, do readings with friends at coffee shops, pull cards whenever I have a free moment. What I mean to say is this is not a precious process. Yes, thank you very much. We don't have to get all heady about it. We don't need to wait for the perfect time or have hashtag all the things. There are no rules for communicating with the universe, so get in the zone however they may look to you. Sample spreads. There's a 1-card pull. 2-card spread is decisions. So 1 is intentions, 2 is decisions, 3-card past, present, future, 4-card seasons. And then we are into the cards. And we get a black and white image, the essence, and then releasing. I mean, the releasing thing could very much be a reverse meaning. But then we just have a long paragraph. There's no like other keywords or synopsis. And then when we get to the minors, same thing, exact same thing. All right, let's get in. Okay. Ooh, look how pretty. It's gilded, but it's like a soft, glittery, like a brushed gold rather than super shiny. But you know what? I am not... First of all, the deck is separating, so we know that it's been printed in 2 chunks. I mean, cardstock may be a little pliable, but not very. Yikes. Well, we'll do what we can. I love the colors on the back here. So they've done this really almost pointillist, splattery look with color, but it's really subtle and it's really pretty, and I like the stars, and the backs are non-directional, so if you choose to do reverses, the deck isn't going to fight you. Okay, so here's the Fool. And what did she say? Gold and silver were the colors for golds and silvers. Well, this is totally green for the Fool. But here we have somebody that looks like they're in the van and setting out for an adventure. And we've got the little Maneki Neko there. So we've got Asian references, the little good luck kitty. And we've got some boba tea. And then we've got that must be a bow. It must be a steamed bun. Ooh, steamed buns. So she looks really happy, and I guess we can see the Fool thing in that she's, sticking out the window of her car rather than behind the driver's seat. But anyway, it definitely has the idea of I'm on an adventure and I'm excited. Let's get going. And then we have the artwork looks almost like silk screen. There's blocks of color. Where there is shading, it's done by that sort of, it's almost pixelated as they blend into each other. And then we've got the Magician with just these 2 hands doing magic. And there's the 4 symbols. I like that it's in keeping with the idea of going on an adventure. So we've got what looks like a camping cup and then a pocket knife. So if I didn't see that this was the Magician, I could come up with it. Here's the High Priestess. She has a crown on her head, just sort of suspended in the air. This one doesn't have visual cues that let me know what I'm looking at. I mean, she's just sort of, it's like a dream. Like she's in a nightgown and she's just sort of floating through a dreamscape. She doesn't have eyes, even. Interesting. Then we have the Empress. Okay. Um, the the rendering is a little interesting, that it looks like she's pouring that over her shoulder rather than actually drinking it. And you can see, like, it definitely looks like either things have been cut out and sort of collaged, because if you look at that mountain and the color on it is a streaky thing and it's all going in the same direction, so it's like that was made a piece of paper and then they cut it out, is what it looks like. So the Empress drinking, it looks like she's drinking milk. And a waterfall, and here's the Emperor standing in the woods amongst these huge trees with this light, soft light source here. So again, I am not, we're certainly not sticking with any particular tarot system. Definitely reinterpretation. The Hierophant, so she's got some incense. And again, we have like, it's kind of like the things in the pictures aren't really interacting with each other on a visual basis. So, like, there's the incense, but the white stick is there and the hands are just kind of behind it. Doesn't really look like she's holding it. A blue flower there. Here's the Lovers. Oh, I love that. I really like that. The Chariot. It's on a sled. Strength. Getting ready to take off on the race. The Hermit. Ooh. I thought I was going to be pausing a lot to cough, but not, thankfully. What I'm pausing a lot to do is adjust my back because it really hurts. Anyway, here's the Hermit out camping alone. Wheel of Fortune. That's very cool. The compass is a perfect representation there. But it's different because Wheel of Fortune is about how things go up and down, and we travel that whole wheel. A compass is about finding direction. So definitely different justice. Ooh. Oh, ay, ay, ay. Well, I could see, if we're talking about justice being balanced, but look at this. How, what I'm seeing right here is she's in the drink in the next 2 seconds. So interesting. And there's the Acrobat, getting a new perspective on things. Death. I have to say, I'm not seeing the silvers and golds that she was talking about. So Death. Oh, okay, now this one's hitting me. To all you in California. So we see destruction of a landscape. We see trees here and the flames and the smoke. And, it definitely cues you into the vibe of natural process, because wildfires happen. They happen in nature. Whether, even without human error, they do happen in nature. So death is something that's cyclical, that moves through a landscape, and things are reborn after. And here's Temperance. Okay, I guess she's between, there's the water and the land, and she's just kind of hanging out. I have to say I am going to be drawing from my internal knowledge of what these cards mean. Certainly we'll be looking stuff up too, and here's the Devil. Well, hi. You're of the snake? Yeah, it's like a hidden danger lurking. The Tower. I love the colors. much more vibrant where I'm looking at them than on screen. Here's the star, watching a shooting star, looking very serene. I love the layers here of the mountains and going out to the sea. And the moon. Okay, I guess she's just dancing in the moonlight. The sun. Okay, don't look straight at it, darling, really. With all the sunflowers around her. Judgment. Okay, interesting. So it's like a reflection. We've got the scene, and then we have the reflection of it in water. Judgment. I guess it can be, judgments are really a reflection of who we are. I don't know. And then the world, and look what we have happening here. So someone just with a big floppy hat and a robe that's just kind of looking out to the horizon. We have sky and water and land and mountains and okay. And then we have changed the color of the borders. So I guess that's kind of the silvery. And then we have blue and we have purple and we have green. Cool. Okay. Ace of Wands. I like the little flame on the fingernail. And there's the 2 setting off up the hill. And the 3, we're having a cookout. So it's kind of like collaboration between people to create something that all can enjoy. And then the 4. Okay. This is one of those things now I can't for the life of me think of what the 4 of Wands is. Oh, yes. Okay. Got it. So it is a celebration. You do have that celebratory idea. And I love the very Asian looking clothing. The 5 of Wands. So we don't see competition. The wands are just planted in the ground. And it looks like she's come along this path and she's sort of looking up like that, 6 of Wands, and we've got everybody roasting marshmallows together. Okay. And then 7. They're just sort of going out into the... I'm very looking forward to reading the meanings. I'm not going to do it until we do the reading. Here's the 8 of Wands, surfing away. The 9, protesting, holding up signs. Wow. And the 10. So she's kind of coming along here, and there's all these wands. Is she supposed to be picking them up? And we do see, the desert that they were talking about, and there's an oasis in the distance. And here's the Scout. This is the, was that the sassy teen or the, let me see here. First one is a carefree high schooler. So the Scout is out there on her little 4-wheeler, and the sassy teen is the backpacker. And the explorer is a college senior taking photos. And then the king is the mature 30s woman. And that's interesting. Oh, it's her tent. Her tent is blowing away. That's kind of hilarious. The guide. There's the Ace of Cups. Okay. See waters. There's the 2, kind of like what did they used to call it? The tunnel of love at carnivals and things, where you get on this little swan and go into a dark tunnel so people can make out. And I do love the intersectionality, the racial diversity, the orientation diversity. Definitely a female deck. Here's the Three of Cups. Yeah. There's a lot of cards of celebration in this deck. There's the Four. And she's obviously shedding tears. Other people in their boats and all her stuff is spilled. She's got a couple, I mean, the cups are still floating, but there goes her phone. Oh, Five of Cups, really feeling lost there. This is the most RWS consistent one I think I've seen so far. There's the Six, creating happy memories together. There's the Seven. Got all of these in the sand before me. Which one do I want? The Eight. I don't want any of them. There's the Nine, just kind of floating in water. Look at the little dragonflies. They almost make a little heart there. Dreaming. And here's the Ten of Cups. Again, we've got a rainbow and a waterfall, but not other people, not a broader community in that one, which is interesting. Here's the Scout of Cups. The Backpacker. Wow. The Explorer. And the Guide. There's the Ace of Pocket Knives. Ace of Swords with an eagle. And then we have the Two. And right away, we're in the water. Okay, that's sort of interesting. So they said that swords were, I think it was mountains. Swords, mountains and sky. But what we see here is deep water. So that's kind of confusing to me. Okay, I am going to go look that up. I knew when I said I wasn't going to that I would be doing it. Okay, the essence is timeout, and the releasing is urgency. Sometimes we're faced with a decision that's altogether too much, and we begin to shut down. The medicine of the Two of Swords is that you don't have to figure anything out right this very minute. The card speaks to distress tolerance and our ability to withstand the uncomfy feelings of being caught in the messy middle. Wow. Yeah, that's like our biggest challenge right now, is to be where we are without completely checking out. Now may not be the time to be still, as that can make the spiraling worse. Instead, consider engaging in a full body experience. Here we see a woman scuba diving. She's left her swords on the shore. There they are right there. Representing her intention to take a time out. Underwater, she can't ruminate on her thoughts because she has to focus on her breathing. Inhale, exhale, repeat. Even though everything's quiet around her, the fish are still swimming, the sea turtles are still cleaning themselves, the octopuses are still scurrying about, the eels are still popping out of their hidey holes. See, giving your mind a rest doesn't mean shutting it off. It just means directing it toward a different purpose. In time, and when you least expect it, the answers you're looking for will come to you. Okay, so that does carry the vibe, though, of leaving the external world and diving deep in order to take a break from that constant, There's the Three of Swords, a little lightning bolt on it. So is she holding them? Are they stabbing her? I don't know. There's the Four. Another timeout. The Five. Climbing. The Six. Kayaking through. The Seven. Ooh, she's like, yeah, I got all the swords. I'm taking them with me. The Eight. That's interesting, too. So does she have a blindfold? It's not a blindfold. I see eyes, but okay. Huh. Interesting. The 9 and the 10. The 10 almost looks more like the 9 in a traditional deck. So there's the Scout, the Backpacker, the Explorer, and the Guide doing her Tai Chi. Then we have the Pentacles, the Ace, I like the flower pot. The 2, the 3 collaborating, building their tent. Here's the 4. I mean, she's got the 1 in her bag, but the rest are here. So there's the 5. Snuggled up against the rain. The 6. So the 6 is like harvest, and the 7 is like a celebration thing. This is kind of more like a 7 of Pentacles. Very interesting. The 8. The 9. No bird there. And the 10. So there we see a group of people together. There's the scout, the backpacker, the explorer, and the guide. All right, let's get a little blessing to the deck, to the creators, and to Allie in particular for a wonderful gift. This deck arrived 9 days ago when we were like the sickest. And I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting. All right. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. By water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And by the sound of the bell, may the spirit within you awaken. And I send blessings to all involved in bringing this deck to my hands. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you for seeing me through this difficult time. And I offer you fresh water, and I offer you the fire of Azrael, which I haven't burned in so very long. Now, this I'm not looking forward to. It does fit in my hand, but that cardstock is thick. And with my kind of, look, I can't even make those bend. So I'm going to do this. We'll do a split and pull here, but, oh man, even that. I don't know how this is possible, but I think this cardstock might even be worse than Los Scarabaeo's chunky box decks. Gosh, yeah, that's impossible. Absolutely impossible. All right, I'm just going to cut, and then we will split and pull. So reading for the collective. Oh, my. Come on. What do we need to know right now on this new moon, Chinese New Year, year of the wood snake? 2 days before Pluto hits that critical 2 degrees of Aquarius. Okay. 6 cards. Cut and pull. Let's see. The Emperor. Really? 2. Temperance. Okay. You seem to be trying very hard not to look while I'm picking. Here's the 3rd one. The Explorer of Pentacles. We have the Guide of Pentacles. The Backpacker of Cups. Okay, can I have something other than a court card? And the 2 of Pentacles. All right. So we have Majors, Pentacles, and a cup. All right. intuitively. No, I'm going to read because I want this deck to show me what it's about. The essence is self-worth for the Emperor. How interesting. Yeah, this is very different. And the releasing is hustling. Okay, the Emperor is all about uncoupling your self-worth from money and often shows up in the low moments when we're feeling like a complete and utter failure. In the startup world, this season of darkness is often referred to as the trough of sorrow. Every entrepreneur goes through it. It's the FML moment when you are suddenly convinced that you've made a terrible mistake, will never succeed, and should, without a doubt, throw in the towel. This may not be the first time you've been in the trough of sorrow, but it can feel just as dark. Most people talk about this period in retrospect when they're back on the top of the roller coaster. But the Emperor is down in the trenches with you, reminding you that we are all familiar with this exceptionally unglamorous side of the journey. And as hard as it might be to believe at the moment, she's very fond of single word sentences. The sun will shine again. That other one I read had one of those as well. Kind of annoying. Anyway, in a world obsessed with hustle porn and ranking people based on their wealth, it can feel damn near impossible to feel good about yourself if you aren't constantly doing more, earning more, and achieving more. But it's all a lie. You are already perfect and whole and deserving of love just by existing. Now, what's interesting here is, we are getting this Asian American lens to look through. And if you think about like stereotypical with Asian American families, is we look at these, hyper achieving kids, and that the focus really is on that achievement. So, she's saying in a world obsessed with hustle porn and, do more, do more, do more. This is about finding our self-worth here in existence. So I had to read this in order to get that from this card. I can see it reflected there now. Self-worth can be found when you go out into nature and you just allow yourself to be. But the Emperor is a card that represents worldly power and represents that sense of empowerment and also the responsibility that comes with power. And this, I don't see that reflected here at all. I see, here's my place in the greater scope of nature, and I feel small in comparison. Very interesting. Okay, so self-worth and away from hustle culture. And now we've got temperance. The essence of it is self-care. That tracks. And it's releasing burdens. I'm tired. Are you tired? The world is a shit show, and some days it all feels like too much. When you're a sensitive being, you tune into the suffering of the collective. And how? And holy cow, do things feel heavy lately. Whether you're tending to your own intergenerational trauma, fighting for Mama Earth, or dismantling systems of oppression, know that none of this can happen overnight. It is imperative that we take breaks along the way. Trust that while you're resting, someone else is doing the work so that when it's their turn to rest, you'll have the energy to tap back in. This is how we create sustainable change. This is how we practice sacred activism. This is how we avoid burnout. With temperance, we stop carrying the weight of the world on our backs and make time for rejuvenation. Soak up the medicine of the hot springs. Do something that restores your spirit. Reconnect with joy. With this card, we're being asked to examine if our current actions for social change are supportive of our own health and well-being. We all have unique roles in this revolution, and it's time to get clear on what yours is. And boy, is this a deck of the times, huh? Talking about revolution. So, self-care, finding your self-worth, and taking care of yourself. And now we have the Explorer of Pentacles. My body just sent me a warning shot. Okay, the essence is pleasure, and the releasing is struggle. The Explorer of Pentacles is over struggle for struggle's sake. She's had it with the drama. She's done with the treadmill. She no longer wears her stress as a badge of honor. The Explorer of Pentacles is here to enjoy herself. She doesn't care how much she paid for something or what commitments were made or how prestigious an opportunity is. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. This card brings to the surface how often we find ourselves addicted to suffering and skeptical of joy. Wow. If there's anyone who wants to rewrite this narrative for us, it's the Explorer of Pentacles. She firmly believes we're put on this planet to feel good. When this card appears, it's a sign to cultivate more pleasure in your life. Take a deliciously long lavender bath. Make a charcuterie board with all the expensive cheeses. Treat yourself to a bouquet of fresh lilies from the farmer's market. Let your intuition guide you. The more pleasure we experience, the more we say fuck you to the systems of oppression that want to keep us struggling. Okay, so we've got self-care here, taking a break from things. And then we've got more than just self-care, but pleasure. And especially, to relate these two, sometimes, self-care comes along when we're tanking or when we're forced to it, when we get sick, for instance. And we can do the self-care, but pleasure is on top of that. So it's kind of like without self-care, we can find ourselves unable to feel pleasure, unable to enjoy what's around us. So, yeah, we need the self-care to put us back into a balanced place so that we can truly feel pleasure and enjoy life. I'll brighten that up a little bit. It seems very dark. Oh well. Then we have the Guide of Pentacles. We got all of these frickin' courts. Can't get away from them. The essence is capable, and releasing is helplessness. If there's ever an apocalypse, the Guide of Pentacles is the one you'll want by your side. She knows how to forage for mushrooms, which plants hold medicinal properties, and the secret to building a rainproof shelter. Okay. This card speaks to the gift of self-reliance, being able to trust that no matter what life throws at you, you'll be able to take care of yourself. The energy of this card is not so much about being so fiercely independent that you reject the support of others, as it is about taking matters into your own hands. Don't understand the stock market? Take a workshop on investing. Want to learn some self-defense? Sign up for a Krav Maga class. Ooh, unfortunate name. Concerned about a health issue? Schedule that doctor's appointment. The Guide of Pentacles approaches challenges head on. She isn't waiting around for anyone to save her. This card shows up when we need a little kick in the butt to remember that we are smart, capable, and resourceful. It is a tremendous source of guidance in wobbly times. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs, and when it does, tap into the resilience of the Guide of Pentacles. She will help you find your way. Okay. And then the Backpacker of Cups. Okay. The essence is brave. How interesting. Okay. And releasing is what ifs. So the backpacker is like the knight, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the explorer is the queen. The guide is the king. All right. Backpacker of cups is all about being brave in the face of love. She lives for those cheesy rom-coms and squishy young adult books. Talking about feelings is her favorite pastime. Some people find her moody and dramatic, but like some things are worth being moody and dramatic about. The Backpacker of Cups knows that putting herself out there means she could get hurt. But the amazing thing is she does it anyway. She loves with her whole heart, and it is beautiful. So here's another little thing she does. She'll take a word and string it out with spaces in between the letters. To love someone romantically or platonically is inherently vulnerable. You never know what might happen. Maybe you'll get rejected. Maybe the relationship will dissolve unexpectedly. Maybe your heart will be broken into a million pieces. While these are all possibilities, the Backpacker of Cups is here to champion an alternative option. What if things work out even better than you could have imagined? Okay. So it's talking about being brave enough to go into your emotional life. to brave enough to be vulnerable and to reject the what ifs, or replace them. That we keep ourselves from being vulnerable by that barrage of what ifs. Yeah, but what if I get rejected? What if I, all the things that she said there? um what if all these bad things happen? But instead taking the option of, what if it turns out to be the most wonderful thing of my life? And the most open and neutral one is, what if I learn something? What if I learn something valuable about myself, whichever way it turns out? All right, then we have the Two of Pentacles. The essence is work-life balance and releasing rigidity. Okay, you've gone into Tasmanian devil mode, rushing from one thing to the next, juggling all the balls. The Two of Pentacles is here to help you pump the brakes and make sure your basic needs are being met. Are you feeding yourself? Are you sleeping enough? Are you getting fresh air? When this card is drawn, it's a good time to reflect on how much emphasis you've been putting on work lately, and if there are other parts of your life that could use some tending to. Perhaps your relationship needs some TLC, or you haven't seen your friends in ages, or you've put your health on the back burner, or you're feeling disconnected from your spirituality, or all of the above, Despite what capitalism wants us to believe, work isn't everything. The Two of Pentacles allows us to look at our life more holistically, becoming more willing to say no to some things in order to say yes to others. This card is about work-life balance, not the kind where you're expected to be superhuman and miraculously gain more hours in the day, but the kind where you make hard choices in support of your overall well-being. We can have it all, just not all at once. That's a good message. Okay, so self-worth and self-care, pleasure. What was the Knight of Pentacles again? Capable. So finding ourselves capable and brave enough to be vulnerable, and then to, sorry, I have to go back again. Work-life balance. So it is a very kind of mundane deck. Certainly the spiritual messages are in there, but everything is very much planted in the mundane. Now, granted, we've had Three Pentacles here. I want to look. All right. Five of Swords, self-love versus shame. Eight of Cups, acceptance versus avoidance. Four of Cups, allow and releasing pretending. Five of Pentacles, surrender, releasing gripping. Ten of Swords, integration, releasing intellectualizing. So just really kind of interesting stuff here. It's a very clear message. There's no doubt about it, that we are capable enough to, make the impact in the world that we want to make. But it all depends on how we care for ourselves. If we're willing to let ourselves be vulnerable and face, in the face of emotional situations, and how capable we are of balancing the work we're here to do, or I look at the work we're here to do as a spiritual thing, but the work that we must do on a daily basis is like, the job that we have that brings money into the house, and all of that. But certainly it is about taking care of yourself, recognizing your worth. Notice that all of these cards, and there aren't a whole lot of cards that have more than one person. Certainly none of those are here. All of these cards are solo. So it is really bringing us back to the very fundamentals of how we feel about ourselves, what our own self-worth is, and making sure that the times that we're going through, the things that we have to endure, or even the money that we make or don't make, that we are aware that our worth goes far, far, far beyond that, and to bring us back into that worth. So an interesting and simple message. So this is a really gentle deck, very gentle. It certainly isn't shying away from, the topics of shame and helplessness and struggle. Autopilot, comparisonitis. I love the releasing ones. Releasing modesty, resistance, guilt, gripping, scarcity, stubbornness, rigidity, urgency. I mean, fear. Let's see what that one is. 9 of Swords is releasing fear, and the essence is mystery. And then, like, 5 of Swords is shame. 8 of Swords is agency, and you're releasing victimhood. Wow. Oh, I'm going to read this. Okay, this is the 8 of Swords. The essence is agency. We're releasing victimhood. Okay, here's the thing. Yes, racism is real and it sucks. Yes, misogyny is real and it sucks. Yes, capitalism is real and it sucks. And is there a chance you have more agency than you realize? In the 8 of Swords, we're invited to consider our personal responsibility and the ways in which we're unintentionally contributing to our suffering. We can't just blame shitty institutions and call it a day. That's why it's called inner work. We have to heal our own internalized oppression just as much as we have to dismantle the systems of oppression around us. Otherwise, the oppressors continue to win because we do all the fucking work for them. We go around censoring ourselves and policing each other and hustling for our worth. At some point, it becomes our own problem to deal with. The woman in this card is skydiving, representing her path to liberation. She's separated herself from the 8 Swords to declare that she will not let them rule her life. Okay. If you can't seem to shake that nagging feeling of being a victim, lean into the support of the 8 of Swords. The medicine of this card is to take back our power because damn do we deserve to feel free. Wow. Okay, yeah, this deck has a vibe like not any others that I have. Very gentle. It is dealing with the things that we deal with. It's not ignoring them, but it is coming out on the positive side of, okay, if you want to release this, here's what you need to do. So, and we certainly are on an adventure, aren't we? It's a shitty adventure. We're on a really shitty adventure. But we're on it together. So thanks for showing up, you guys. I hope to see you on a regular basis. Till I see you next time. And again, bless you, Allie. Bless you so much. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this deck. Until I see you again, this is Luna. Blessed be.